Well, g'day guys, welcome to video, let me think, it'll be video number 35. Just done the painting video and a lot of great comments. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks for following, your encouragement's really cool. At the end of the last video I mentioned that I'd forgotten to take these striker units, or these latches, because I needed them on the car so that I could do all the body work and have them all gapped. Everything was gapped and perfectly. So I only had one set, and that was a set that was on the car. So I lost basically a week waiting for these to get gold zinced. Took all the springs out as you always do, and blah 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 blah. But this driver's side one, now I'm tipping it was broken prior, because I do remember that door, or one of my doors, that door was really, it never used to, you close it but it would have a bit of movement in it. You could pull it out by about 2 or 3 mil. It'd have about 2 or 3 mil after it strikes, and then you'd have this little bit of movement in there. Also, one of the doors, I can't remember which one it was, probably this one, you'd open either the lever inside or the door latch outside, or even like reaching through and pulling the rod. It never used to sort of bounce out. It would just stay like dead. It would open, but it wouldn't sort of spring out. And I'm absolutely certain it's this one. It's because of the springs. The two big springs here you cannot remove. Okay, they've got pressed. Well, this one here you could probably, no, well you can't even, because it's got a pressed, like a stamped type retainer. And this top spring here has also got this plate covering it, and that's also stamped into position with that. And these are all packed with grease and stuff. Now I really cleaned them up really well for the zinc guy, but I didn't bother about getting all of that deep grease inside around those springs, and I didn't realise it. And they came back and they've been cleaned, but this bloody spring here is broken. I don't know if you can see that. That spring is broken. So whenever you actuate the door mechanism, sure, it closes and opens, but see, now I'm opening it there and it's not springing open as a result of that broken spring, but it does open and close. But so that technically should flick out like that, but it doesn't. And it's all because of this broken spring here. So, so I've lost a week and I can't use this bloody thing. It came up beautifully. I mean, they really did a great job. Now, I don't believe that spring broke as part of the zinc process. I believe it was broken prior to the zinc process and I didn't pick it up. However, so that being said, so what do? Put a call out on Facebook. Anybody got any of these floating around? Blah, 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 blah. And no. Well, yes, but they're all shit, and they're all 50 years old and whatnot. And a few guys said, "Oh, you can buy them brand new." And they said the Respes on. Well, Respes don't. They sell XY ones, which may be the same. I'm not sure. But I found a place up in Brisbane called Mustang Spares or something, and they were adamant that the one that they sell fits the XA and ZF. They were just, no, it fits. Believe me, it fits that. They said it'll fit. And so I was dubious because I bought stuff online before. And so I said, look, send me some detailed photos. They sent me 4 photos, and I could actually, my photos, their photos, it looked perfect. Well, they came down. They are identical. So this Mustang joint up in Brizzy knew their stuff. So I've gone and put them all, so now I can carry on, you know, putting these in, gap the doors, and set them up. So very happy. So I have a little problem. This pin, this bonnet catch pin, I can't seem to adjust it far enough up into the bonnet itself, into the thread, because I've maxed out the adjustment on it, so I maxed in the adjustment on it, and in order for me to actually get the bonnet closing right down flush on the guards, I've had to remove this beautifully chromed washer which comes with this attachment. Now I close it and it closes beautifully. Like I've got adjustment there now, so I can adjust it up with the post, and the same on the other side over there. Yeah, one of the causes for that, for me having to adjust that post right up into the bonnet there, is because I had that whole section out and I might not have patched it back in exactly the right position, and it's sitting maybe a little lower because I used a fair bit of filler in here to fill up all my welds and stuff, and after I grinded them back. But that particular, and that could be affected from the original sort of nose impact as well, that surface could be sitting too low. Man, there's a million combinations of reasons. So that surface that this adjusts up into could be sitting proud, or yeah, sitting too low or proud. And when I'm trying to lock it onto the catch plate, it's wanting to go down further, and you can push it down further, but yeah. However, the other thing is, I don't know if you can see this, I've taken the screws, taken the bolt out of there, and this whole bonnet support stand seems to be fighting to sit any lower. Now, we replaced the radiator support panel, and I've replaced this this bonnet stand, but if you can see the hole is on the very, very low side, so it's almost like this whole plate and platform want to go down a good, you know, you could almost afford to go 3 mil down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and I'm going to take this off and try and sort of adjust it, or squash it, or beat it into submission, so that that little hole there, sits on the high side of the actual, on the high side of the adjustment area. Right, so I've just given it a bit of a spread. This is cutting compound that's on there. It's a medium. It's the stage 2 compound from that I bought. It's 400. I'm not sure what 400 means, but it says 2,400, but it's actually capital 2 or a large 2. Anyway, so it's a medium cutting compound that I'm using with a cutting pad, and there is also a medium cutting pad, but I've opted for the actual cutting pad. So I've given it one quite quick spread. Still quite soft, still quite tacky and pliable. So that's the cutting compound, so it's step 2, it's a medium cut, so it's step 2 it says, and it's 400, so I don't know what that is, whether it's grit or not, but I don't know. And this is what I'm using for the polish. It's a discontinued product, it's really good though. It's Phoenixa from the body shop. They don't sell it anymore. Well, the one that I go to don't, because they're all independent and they choose what they want to sell, but it's a nice polish. So it was sanded back to 3000, then I've cut it. And the dark grey pad is the polishing pad. So as you saw, I hit the balance of the polish as it was sort of drier with a wool buff, just to virtually clean it off and remove it. I've already done the top half of the door and the quarter panel. Now you can't see it, and on the camera that probably looks really quite good, but on the bottom half, which I've only just given my first cut to, I can still see scuff marks from the 2500 and 3000, so I'll need to polish them out, so I'll put a bit more cutting compound on there and carry on. But I mean, jeepers, you'd see that car, you'd see this car in the street and you'd think, oh, crikey, car's getting heavy with all the doors and bonnet and boot on. You see that on the street and you think, wow, but it's not perfect, so we've got to get it perfect. I should have done the other side. Very good with the old left hand on the screwdriver. I forgot to send these off to get them gold zinc, so I just painted them sort of an aluminium, I can't remember what it was supposed to be, aluminium or brushed aluminium finish with a spray pack. So the courtesy lights. So the left hand side's totally cut and polished, looking really, really good. Real happy. Still not 100% perfect with the polishing, but it's pretty bloody good. And the paint isn't really 100% either. It's as good as factory, maybe a little better, but I like that reflection, nice and straight. Yeah, it's good straight reflection. Yeah, so I'm just putting the battery tray on, bit of paint and primer in there, so just cleaning them out with the tap. Same as in here, these ones have got overspray and all you need built up on the side, inside of them. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but on that section there and that section there, this section mainly, there's like pock marks from rust. I POR15 it, so that sort of sealed it, killed the rust off and sealed it, but it's left the pock marks, which I didn't fill. I didn't use bog on it, so I'm going to just cut a strip of rubber there and a strip of rubber there and just glue them there, because it'll cover that lumpy section up. Round the corners off. I wonder if there's a screw that's got to go through there. No, it's probably just a drain. Yeah, that'll just be a drain. For sure. It's not the neatest paint job on this. I did it early in the piece and I just sort of hung onto it there and sprayed it, but actually looks good. And there we go. Looks stunning. That is one nasty, nasty tool. I've left a lot of the old under seal or deadener on. It's just too horrible to get off, and I'm just over it. So this is really just to blacken it up and get all the overspray off it. And I've checked everything for rust, so there's no rust, I know. So that deadener's not covering any rust. So it's just really to blacken it up, get rid of the overspray from when I painted the body. Threw a bit of paint on the chassis rail, it's still drying. I sanded that back with 80 grit, I didn't really care too much about it. So as you can see, I'm starting to cut corners on the way home. I've got a coupe in the shed that's screaming to me to hurry up and finish me, or start me. So it looks pretty great. Probably not going to worry about up under there. I should, but I just can't be bothered, guys. I really can't. It's all covered in deadener. There's no point in just putting new deadener over old deadener just to make it black. It's fine, there's no rust. Never gets seen. I noticed that with my XW. I spent days cleaning all of that shit off. Days. And then washing it down with thinners and just chemicals and injuries and dust and horrible bloody... Probably took 10 years off my life cleaning that shit off. And then replaced it. And it looked fantastic, but man, 2 weeks after I started driving the car, it was all over. You know, you never ever see it. Nobody ever got down that low to look under the car. I was just not going to worry about it. I mean, that looks pretty smart. That's all you need. God, I must look a real mess. I've had a cold. And mind you, I didn't take any days off work, but it was only bad for a couple of days, so it wasn't too bad, and it seems to have cleared up, so I'm pretty happy about that, but pretty tired. Today my excavator at work had a little breakdown, so it's getting fixed, so I came home early. I've got to clean the shed today, and before Sunday, because I've got Pete coming around on Sunday, we're going to put the loom in, and start the wiring and the dashboard and stuff. And so yeah, so I'm just down here today. It's freezing outside. It's absolutely freezing, and so I thought I had started playing on these, cleaning the glass up. This is for the rear doors. This is the rear quarter lights for the passenger side and the passenger side window. This car had tinted windows, so got to get that off to start with, and so you just use a bit of heat. Find a corner. That's nice. It's really nice, that heater. Even though the shed's all drafty and windy. Comes off really easily with the heat. Problem is you're left with some sort of, it's almost like a glue, like a residue from the glue, if there is a glue used. Right, so I'll start with just wash it with a bit of thinners. So as you can see, it's got all of this scum around it, like years and years of grime that's built up underneath the seal. Just clean all that off.
you go. Comes up really well. Still a line from the seals. If I really worked hard on that, I'd probably get that out. Hey guys, it's Sunday 2nd of July 2023. Been out here since it's 6 o'clock. I had to clean up, got Pete coming out today. He's going to put the loom in and the dashboard. Help me. Well, I'm going to help him. I've completely forgotten how to do it and how it goes together. But I've got to get this deadener on the Firewall first. I bought this car builder's product. It's really cool. It's quite flexible. It's just matting. It's adhesive matting. But I want to make it fit properly, so I've made these little see-through sort of patterns. I'm going to stick them. They're the same size as the sheets. Stick it on the Firewall and just mark where all the holes are, so I can cut all the holes out neatly on the bench rather than trying to do it with a Stanley knife and cutting into the paint and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Sort of got a few shapes in this Firewall, so I'm going to try and respect those. There's a fair bit of manoeuvrability with that stuff, but I really want to get the holes in the right spot. We've got a little pucker there, so I might take that out. Makes it easy. They've got a grid line on the back, so when you put your template on there, it's see-through template, so you can sort of see exactly where it crosses the grid lines. Which grid lines? See, that's just the piece from the other. That's the backing of the other piece, but it allows you to line up all the holes. Just having that grid line really helps. I don't know why they put it, but I'm assuming that's what they put it there. Okay, so I've only got a tiny little hole punch, and so I'm just using that to just go around the edges. It cuts it. I should do it with a Stanley knife, but I don't have a good Stanley knife. Bigger holes are easier because you can cut them with the scissors, but these little holes are just punch holes really. Even though it's foil on the front, I can still cut it with the scissors and sharpen them up later. It's really important that you don't put that on the wrong side, because all your holes will be pretty much mirrored to what the pattern is, and they won't line up in the Firewall. So you've got to have your wits about you. The door, because I'm sitting in the car and it's on the rotisserie, so it's on a slight lean. The door did its thing, did what doors do. But of course there I've got a seam, sorry, I've got an overlap and I'm going to have to cut that. So just down there I'm going to cut what's called a dart. So fold that one in. And this one you just cut up there, you sit it over, cut off the surplus. Hopefully, a little bit rough already, but nice. Here's the maestro.
Hello, how you going?
I would be dead in the water without this man, I'm telling you.
Well, let's just hope it doesn't catch fire.
I got a fire extinguisher, Pete. I promise I'll carry it for a month. For the first month.
Stick some power in it, or
We'll have a look.
make sure it's all good. I've got to just get my head around how this all fits in. Right, that is inside. This goes in the bag.
Look at this. Look at the quality of that workmanship, my God. That's absolutely beautiful. Cloth tape over the loom, amazing. And we've checked the fan on the heater box, and that's all working, because it's above my pay grade to do that sort of work. I'm not skilled enough.
What, to check the fan?
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah, I could have done. Look, if I'd really put my thinking cap on. Oops.
I don't want that bit to break. Hang on, I'm just gonna.
So it comes out there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got that big grommet, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Tail lights, and not impressed by the tail lights though. But we'll.
What do you do?
Exactly. Too old to do that, Pete.
Yeah.
No more Mr. Nice Guy on your knees, bitch.
I haven't had an invitation like that in a while.
So we didn't get the dash facade in, and we didn't get the crash pad on. Got a fair way. Got all the loom through to the boot. Got it all sort of roughed in, and a little. Give me some focus. Focus, boy. Yeah, I was under the pump, bloody rushing to try and sort of keep up with Pete, trying to put this shit together while he's sort of ready to hook plugs up and stuff, and I've gone and damaged that. The biggest problem was that this that inside panel, because it was completely missing, I got one bent up, and I only guessed the profile of it, so it's slightly an incorrect shape under there, and so you can see it's how it's pushed it out. So I'm going to have to trim. I'm going to have to get another one and just try and. I'm just going to have to fit it. Maybe use a bit of the Dremel to try and alleviate some of the pressure marks, the contact points. As you can see, like it. I broke that. That was broken actually. Sorry, no, that was already broken, but I did repair it. But it's cracked the repair and destroyed it. Not happy about that. You know, I was just rushing too much. I should have just taken my time and you know, fitted it just nice and gently. But I was just so under the pump. Anyways, onto the front here. We've got pretty much a really good result. God, Pete's a wizard. He just blows me away. Every single nut, bolt and screw that Pete asked for today, I just couldn't find. I don't know where they are. All the dashboard bolts and screws, there's a few. There's one bag there, but all of the little bracket screws, nuts and bolts, everything's missing. I just don't know where it is. So I was out here at 6 in the morning. I had to clean the shed up a bit, and then I had to put all this this deadener over it. As you saw, you've probably unpicked. And we need that deadener up there so I could put the airbox in, put the AC heater box in, which is it's nice. And frighteningly, that hole that I closed up, you know, remember that hole that I closed up beside those two red caps? There's a hole up just there that I closed up. It's being used on the ZG that I bought, but we ran the vacuum lines through the old. Oh, that's the vacuum lines there. There's 3 of them. Ran them through an old portal that isn't used in an AC car, so that's good. And I didn't close that one up. I left it open, so thank God. So we're good. So we've got the loom all roughed in there, into the engine bay. It's dark outside. I'm exhausted, guys. It's been a big day, guys. Just trying to keep up with Pete. He's a machine. And you know, he's here. His time's really valuable, so he's here trying to, like, he wants to pull the tail lights up. Yep. But it's, you know, I had to try and keep up, and that's why I damaged that panel, because I was that center section has to go on first, and then the tail lights over the top of it. And he wanted the tail lights in, so we could. Oh fuck! It was stress. It was just stress. And I'm a methodical creature. I can't be pushed past the point where I'm, you know, out of my comfort zone. It must be some sort of OCD or bloody, what's that other thing that kids get these days? Autism. Must have a bit of autism, because I just haven't been able to function all day, because that thing wrecked me this morning, and I've been paying the price all day. And also every single nut, bolt and screw, fuck if I know where they are. And I'm so methodical, and you know, they'll probably turn up when I finish the car and I'm selling off old parts and stuff. But every single nut, bolt and screw that he is after, I could not locate. You know, little brackets. I had all the brackets in another box, so we've got all the brackets, but the nuts and bolts and screws. We were going through a box, through a bin of all the old XW nuts and bolts that, thankfully, I had them plated, but you know, they're not the right nut for the right hole. And I like the right nut and the right bolt and the right hole, you know. And anyways, fucking stress. But he's such a cool dude. He's cool under fire. Eh? He just says, don't worry about it, mate. It's just, you know, it's the way it goes. So he's so cool under fire. So he sort of carried me a bit today, and I'm so thankful to him. Eh? He's just fucking got me through. And we've got our dashes half in, and now what I'm going to need to do is pull that ZG out. I'm going to have to take the dash start off and the crash pad, because I need to look and have a look, because I'm going to pretty much be finishing this off now, and I need a reference, and that's why I bought the ZG. So yeah. Anyways, it's been a big long day. I think I'm going to go and make a video, and we'll take it from there. Alright, sayonara guys.